guys, this is James with RogueDuelist Trade, and on this channel we talk about current and upcoming Yu-Gi-Oh product and whether or not you should invest your money in order to profit. We're starting a new risk analysis series today, and it is going to be on Genesis Impact, which is our upcoming deck building set in the TCG coming out in early December. We are doing a two-part series on this risk analysis, and this video is part one. In this video, we're gonna go over some highlights of the product, we're gonna go over potential chase cards, and we'll also go over cards that are currently in the marketplace that may be seeing buyouts because of cards coming in Genesis Impact. In the part two video, we're gonna go over all the different metrics for our risk analysis, and we're gonna decide on whether or not Genesis Impact is high or low risk in making a return on our investment. So guys, definitely keep an eye out for part two, which will follow the very next day from this video posting. Guys, I have some huge news for the Patreon. We're gonna be opening a significant amount of spots. If you guys wanna see an update to our Yu-Gi-Oh investment Patreon, definitely stick around to the end of this video. I'll give you guys all the details. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into our part one video on our risk analysis series for Genesis Impact. So market launch is gonna be December 4th, 2020. So right at the end of this year, and it's a 60 card set. We're gonna get 10 ultras, 15 super rares, 35 rares, and there's gonna be 15 cards within this set that is also going to be available as collector rares. Now, as you guys can see, this is very similar to Toon Chaos, which we're gonna go over in just a minute. It's gonna be 7 cards per pack, so you're gonna get 6 rares and 1 foil. Because of the OCG, we know we're gonna be getting 3 particular archetypes that are gonna be brand new in this deck building set, and that's going to be Draitron, which is a ritual strategy, Magistus, which is a spellcaster type strategy, which also has all of the different extra deck monsters in their extra deck, and we also have Evil Twins. Now I have a question mark here because I think that's what this archetype is gonna be called. We literally have 0 information. We only have this art for this particular archetype, which Konami has been very quiet about in both the OCG and TCG. So for most of this video, we're gonna be going over Draitron and Magistus as we go through our analysis. So this is a little snippet from Konami's website. It says, Genesis Impact follows the same rarity distribution and cards per pack contents as Toon Chaos. So be on the lookout for 15 new collector rares. So Konami is taking a different step in their deck building sets because Toon Chaos is a very different set build when it comes to rarities and cards that you get. As you guys can see right here, Toon Chaos was technically a side set, not a deck building set, but it looks like it may have kind of been like a proof of concept for Konami, because now it seems this deck building set and potentially future deck building sets is going to follow in the same pattern as Toon Chaos. So Toon Chaos, just like Genesis Impact, is a 60 card set with 10 ultras, 15 supers, 35 rares, and 15 potential collector rares, while previous deck building sets, such as Secret Slayers and Mystic Fighters, were both 60 card sets, but they were all foil sets that had 20 secrets and 40 supers, and I think you only got 5 cards per pack, while a Genesis Impact, like Toon Chaos, we're getting 7 cards per pack. So there still isn't any commons in Genesis Impact, but we're gonna be getting predominantly rares, in addition to getting either a super rare, ultra rare, or the possibility of getting a collector rare. I have some mixed feelings about this, but I think overall, this is a great move by Konami, including more chased after collectability type cards like collector rares in all of their sets, now in deck building sets, adds a lot more value for vendors when opening up packs. And it is actually much easier to pull collector rares versus like Starlight rares in these sets, but collector rares don't hold as much value, but we'll go over that in a little more detail in this two-part series. So the first metric we're gonna go over for our risk analysis is chase card. And if you guys aren't familiar with the RDT risk analysis, we go over a variety of metrics and we grade from a score of 1 to 5 as to where this set scores in each metric. If you guys would like to see a definition of each metric, you can find that down in the description below, but it should be pretty straightforward. So we're gonna start with Magistus, and honestly, I'm only gonna go over the cards that I feel have the highest potential of being higher value cards. And I think we can look at a lot of meta strategies in the past and kind of see what cards were higher in value and higher in rarity. And it's usually the cards that help you facilitate 1-card combos to help you get your engine going. And these are the cards in Magistus that I feel kind of help facilitate that. They're gonna be getting a Link 1 monster, which is Magistus Maiden Artemis. And the great thing about this card is that it is a generic level 4 or lower Link 1 monster, which already shows that Magistus can be played in a variety of spellcaster strategies, which is great. So its effects effect, special summon this card only once per turn. Its first and second effects can only be used once per turn each. Effect number 1, if another magistus monster is normal or special summoned while this card's in the main monster zone, you can target one of those monsters and equip this card to that target. So this is what makes this card a very good one card combo facilitator. If equipped to a monster, add a magistus monster from your deck to your hand. If this monster is still equipped to your monster in your next turn, you can keep searching cards. So your opponent really has to take care of the monster that's equipped or take care of this card in your spell trap zone. So being a very good generic searcher within the archetype and being very easy to bring out with any level 4 or lower spellcaster monster, I think this card has a great possibility of being a higher value card or being a super rare with a collector rare variant. Next is Magistus Master Endymion, and this card couples perfectly with Maiden Artemis, and this is why. So while this card is on the field, you can target a Magistus monster, and it doesn't say that you can't target himself. So you can target himself and equip one Magistus monster from your extra deck to that target. So you can just get him on the field, get Artemis from your extra deck, and equip it to Endymion. Once you do that, then you can go ahead and search from your deck. So he's a one card search because he helps you get to Artemis immediately. So as you guys can notice, something about this archetype is that you're always trying to equip your extra deck monsters to your monsters on the field. So another thing that it does is you can target one face-up spell you control, and one of your face-up equipped monsters can count as an equipped spell. Destroy it, and if you do draw one card, then you can return one card from your hand to the bottom of your deck. So this card is pretty cool because you can get it on the field, you can equip it with Artemis, you can search with Artemis, and then you can pop Artemis, draw one card, and then recycle a card back into the bottom of your deck. So Endymion, in my perspective, definitely has the highest possibility of being a higher value card. And then the next archetype, which is Draitron, which we have a pretty good archetype reveal of what we're going to be getting. This archetype is a ritual-based strategy, and it's actually very generic in the ritual monsters that it can bring out. And these cards are actually very good because they're very recyclable. You can use them in your hand, and you can still get them onto the field from your graveyard. So this is one of those archetypes where your graveyard is always a hand as well, which is definitely something that has high potential for the meta. They're all level 1 monsters that have 2000 attack and 0 defense. So the first card I want to go over is Draitron Ban Alpha, and I am paraphrasing their effects just to kind of get through this semi-quickly. You can tribute one other Draitron monster or ritual monster from your hand or field. Special summon this card from your hand or graveyard in defense position. Again, if this card is in your graveyard next turn, you can bring it back. And that is the same effect for all of the Draitron main deck monsters. And it's their last effect that differentiates them from themselves. So Draitron Ban Alpha, once you get him onto the field, you can add one ritual monster from your deck to your hand. Now, something to mention, Cyber Angel Benton is a ritual monster. So you can essentially pull Benton to your hand, and all of these cards tribute from your hand or field. So if you have another Draitron monster that you want to bring out, you can tribute Benton from your hand, which then activates her effect, which allows you to search. So you can definitely see that there are some one card combo facilitators in this archetype. Next is Draitron Alzada. So again, exact same effect as Ban Alpha, but when you get it on the field, you can add one ritual spell from your deck to your hand. And we're gonna go over the ritual spell for this archetype very soon. Now, a card to mention, I don't know if this card is gonna be one of the chase cards, but I definitely think it has potential, is the one on the right here, which is Draitron LTA Delta. So basically this card specific effect, once you get it on the field, you can reveal a ritual spell or monster from your hand and draw one card. So this card's actually an easy +1. Not only can you get it onto the field, you can also reveal a ritual monster or spell card and also draw into the deck, which is an easy +1. So I definitely think that card has great potential. Next are some of the spell cards. Draitron Nova is probably one of the better ones, especially for the archetype. It's basically like an emergency teleport within the archetype. Activate it, special summon one Draitron monster from your deck, but destroy it during the end phase. It's as simple as that, so it gets you resources on the field, gets you easy effects, easy 3-of, definitely a card that can push some big numbers within the archetype if this can become meta. And the next one is the ritual spell, and the great thing about this ritual spell is that it can generically summon any ritual monsters, which then opens the realm of possibilities for things like Necros and all the other ritual archetypes out there. Draitron Alzada. Tribute machine monsters from your hand or field whose total attack equals or exceeds the attack of monsters you ritual summon. Then ritual summon that monster from your hand or graveyard. So if you have a ritual monster in your graveyard, you can take that as a resource and ritual summon it. The great thing about this card is that it doesn't matter about adding up the amount of levels you need in order to get a ritual monster out. All that matters is that if the attack of the monsters you're using as tributes to ritual summon, if their attack is equal or exceeds the attack of the monster you're ritual summoning. So that absolutely changes the game for ritual monsters, makes it a lot more generic. All of the Draitron monsters have 2,000 attack. So with just 2 monsters, you can bring out 4,000 and under ritual monsters very easily. Also, if this card is in your graveyard, you can target a Draitron monster you control. It loses 1,000 attack until the end of your opponent's turn. Add it to your hand. Now, you can only use that once per turn. I know a lot of people have been talking about the commitment that ritual decks usually require, but honestly, I think Konami did a very good job in making this deck very recyclable, because even though you may have to commit a lot of cards, you can keep using those cards again from your graveyard on your next turn or same turn. And because a lot of these cards are very generic for rituals, if there's anything that can help get rituals to be meta again, as in the days of Necros, I think this archetype can definitely do it. And then also to mention, we're gonna be getting 15 collector rares. And if it's anything like Toon Chaos, we got cards like Stardust Dragon, BLS, a lot of nostalgic cards from days of old, but here's some cards that I feel have some potential. Now this is definitely was not announced by Konami. This is strictly from my mind, just trying to give you guys some ideas of like what possibilities could be. Could we see Imperm, Ash Blossom, Evenly Matched, Ghost Ogre, Nibiru? We might be seeing Dark Ruler No More in the Charmer Structure deck. If you guys haven't seen my Charmer Structure deck analysis, you can definitely go and click the link above my head. If Dark Ruler No More truly comes in the Charmer Structure deck, then the possibilities of us seeing a reprint of Nibiru as a collector rare from sets like deck building sets is very possible. You never know. So if Konami does this right, there is huge potential in the collector rare aspect, especially if you look at Toon Chaos. At the time of release for Toon Chaos, all the collector rares ranged from $300 to like $80. So that gives you a lot of potential, especially because the ratio for collector rares is about every 3 display boxes, and you're gonna be opening a total of 12 per case, which means you should be seeing anywhere between like 3 to 4 collector rares in every single case, which definitely adds to the chase card aspect and value in this set. So I went ahead and scored this as a 4. I don't know right now if these archetypes can really compete in the meta. Definitely from a lot of the deck builds that I've seen so far, I don't think it's anything that can really compete with like Eldritch, Emancipator, Infernoble Knights, etc. So we'll see what happens. They definitely have a lot of potential, and I think they're definitely cards that people want to play, and regardless if it's meta or not, if people want to play it, like Toons as an example, the value is going to be up if the demand is there. And I think the collector rares that we're going to be getting definitely adds to the chase card metric, helping put this as a 4. The next and last metric for this part 1 video is current card support buyouts. So these are some cards that I feel are going up in value because of the announcement of cards coming in Genesis Impact. And the first one is going to be Cyber Angel Benton that I mentioned earlier in this video. This card is very good to help facilitate combos in the Draitron strategy, especially as we start getting more support within the Herald archetype. Very soon after the announcement of Draitrons, Cyber Angel Benton went from about a $4 to $5 card as a low in the marketplace, and this is the secret rare from Dragon's Legend Unleashed, and jumped to about a $7 card. And it's been fluctuating since then. Now, Cyber Angel Benton was announced to be getting a reprint in Dragons of Legend, the complete series, so I definitely think it started to go down in value, probably because of that. But I definitely think this shows a level of interest for Draitrons. Next, from Battles of Legend, Relentless Revenge is an ultra rare, is Preparation of Rites, which basically is a generic search for ritual strategies. This card was sitting at about $3 just a few weeks prior to July 20th, and then it jumped to about a $5 card. Now, looking at that from a percentage perspective, it's a very significant jump, and it actually has a new floor. It's never gone under ever since then. I definitely think the only thing that you could really attribute that to is Draitrons, especially because this was only a few days after the announcement. Because we still have about 2 to 3 months, at least at the recording of this video, for knowing what we're actually going to be getting in Genesis Impact as a full set. I think it's hard to attribute certain fluctuations in the market currently, but I think as we get closer to Genesis Impact, as we start understanding what cards are actually going to be coming, and we start seeing some more hype and people getting excited about it, we are definitely going to start seeing some more buyouts. So I'm definitely being cautious of that. Now, cards that are very hard to attribute that actually work very well with both Draitron and Magistus is the Invoked engine. So you can actually play Invoked in both strategies, and you can't really say Invocation has gone up because of either of them, because Invocation is just in the meta in general because it's such a great engine. So that's something to consider. Also, Dogmatica can work as an engine within Magistus because it is predominantly spellcasters, but Dogmatica is also in the meta right now. So you can't really say Dogmatica is higher value because of Magistus. It's just higher value because it is a very good meta relevant archetype. So with all of that said, and with us being so early on right now, I went ahead and just scored this as a 3 because I think there's a lot of opportunity, and I don't think it would be fair to score it any less than 3 because I definitely have seen a lot of interest within the Yu-Gi-Oh community for a lot of these archetypes. So I think this is a safe number. All right, guys, that is the end of our part 1 video for Genesis Impact. Again, if you want to see part 2, that is going to be following the very next day from this video. Now, guys, as promised, we have a very big update for the Patreon. We have opened 22 slots of our level 4 patron tier, 15 slots of our level 5 patron tier, which can buy up to 5 cases of Yu-Gi-Oh product. And then we're also going to be opening 5 spots of our level 6 tier where you can buy up to 10 cases of product at $6.49 per case. And something great for those that are able to join the Patreon is that you will be able to pre-order Genesis Impact from now through the 8th of September. So if you guys are interested in this product, this is a great time to join our Patreon. Our pilot so far with the patrons that have been able to buy product has gone very well. We're building an amazing community on Discord, and there's a ton of added value in the Patreon because you guys will get access to ratio videos on product release. Depending on the patron tier, you guys can get involved in Q&A discussions with both me and folks from Pro Play Games. Guys, this is the first ever Yu-Gi-Oh Investments Patreon, and this is something that I feel is going to revolutionize Yu-Gi-Oh investing for everybody, especially if you don't have a brick and mortar location. So guys, check it out. Spots are limited. I have been giving information through my social media. So if you guys aren't able to get a spot or are not able to get the spot that you would like, follow me on Facebook and Instagram. I'll provide updates there. Also, subscribe and hit the notification bell. I'll give updates through the YouTube community tab. Also, when you subscribe, it's a great way to get informed every single time I provide you guys a new video on Yu-Gi-Oh investment content through YouTube. Also, guys, if you're enjoying this channel, don't forget to like this video, help the YouTube algorithm and help this channel grow. I appreciate you guys stopping by. And again, don't miss the part 2 video for this risk analysis on Genesis Impact. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below if there's anything that stuck out to you. I'll see you guys in the part 2 video.